Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. All right, let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And our card is the Ten of Wands, which has to do with oppression. This could be a feeling of self-righteousness, kind of really looking for order, fairness, everyone to be taking on their responsibilities. Just feeling like a lot of the weight of life is on your shoulders. Okay, so the first thing I'm seeing is this large face. It does not look happy. We have the eyes, the nose, kind of the sad face. Right next to it, we have another face that looks like it's not very happy as well. They're kind of sharing this eye in between. And to me, this kind of says that probably yourself not feeling too happy about something that's going on, but the sentiment is shared with somebody close to you, kind of mirrored, echoed. So I also want to look at, we have these two figures and we have these two figures. Now this one looks like a person pulling, another person pulling, kind of a tug of war going on, right? Just, you know, this one looks like it's headed this way, this one looks like it's headed this way, whatever is in between, it's being pulled. And I feel like this immediately what I think of, because let's go over this too. Above here we have two figures. They're going in the same direction. They're both holding on to something that's kind of sitting in the middle, kind of both bearing the weight of the load. Okay, so I feel like this has to do with maybe something like domestic duties not being shared. Maybe there's inequality within the finances, the things that each other are responsible for. This could be your significant other, your spouse. This could be somebody you live with, a roommate, family member, your child, right? Not doing their, not paying you rent. Maybe they're, older. They don't clean up after themselves, whatever it is. And I think that this really has caused some friction. I think that, it's not even just that you feel like you are being forgotten in all this, like, oh, the things are just being left to you because you're the one that usually does the things, but it almost feels like I get the impression that you feel like you're kind of intentionally being stuck with all of these things. A majority of the stuff you have to do, maybe 90% of the housework, or maybe you're working all the time, you're the breadwinner, and they are not, kind of contributing in other ways. I think that it's just, it becomes kind of soul-sucking at some point, right? Where it's just, you feel like this is kind of a way to you know, not only take advantage of you, but kind of like just really, you know, kind of waste your time, expect all of this of you, no sense of care or honor for you, right? And so, you know, how do we get to this other kind of place of everybody kind of doing what they need to do, everybody chipping in where they need to, where they should. Okay, it's not always an argument about things being done, right? And that's, you know, that's a whole nother job in itself, is trying to get people on task in your life, trying to, you know, delegate, then it doesn't get done. And it's like that's a whole other, you know, emotional, mental load to carry. So I think, and let's see, I'm just trying to look here. And so here I'm seeing a dog, a large dog, and then I see a person here and a person here. And it looks almost like they're arguing. The dog behind, I think, you know, wanting to protect you. I almost feel like this is like a third person kind of involved, somebody who is loyal to you. I don't think that this is the thing that's going to help at all. You know, getting somebody else in the mix isn't really often something. I mean, as far as, you know, figuring out how you're gonna, everybody's gonna get on the same page. But I do think that, you know, also this could be a wonderful kind of symbol of you really prioritizing yourself, being loyal to yourself. And, you know, taking some time for you to clear your mind, to let go of some of the tasks that are not important in this moment, you know, to be mindful of the things that are left to you all of the time, but, you know, maybe some of them you don't absolutely have to do, right? And you kind of just sometimes have to let some of that stuff go, you know. And if, you know, the other folks in your house don't take care of their part, or, you know, even this could be within your family, your workplace. I mean, this is all applicable to work, of course. You know, if you have things that kind of overlap in your you know, your job description or your department or whatever it is, you work with other people on a team, I'm sure that can be difficult when people aren't doing their part, and then it gets left to you. Well, you know, sometimes it just has to be kind of not just passively left, but, you know, very intentionally, you know, making the choice that I'm not going to do this for you anymore. You know, and if you don't want to do it, then it's not going to get done. Kind of standing up for yourself and protecting your time and energies. Okay. Okay, so I have a telescope right here. That's kind of going into the emotional, into the more spiritual, metaphysical zone. And I really think that this is all about kind of, you know, you're wrapped up in all of this, and that makes sense. It's maddening, right? But at times you have to take your leave and you have to focus on other things. Things that are going to feed your soul, things that, you know, are in line with your spiritual work, your interior work, things that you enjoy, things that really kind of bring a sense of awe to your life. And when I see like a telescope, I think, you know, looking into the infinite, you know, really being taken by the beauty of the vastness of all things. And all of our problems seem a little bit silly when we realize just how far and wide, you know, the universe, reality, the many realities really are. And so, you know, we really have to remember this and think that our lives are temporary. Feelings, you know, thoughts, everything around us, it's all very transient. It does not belong to us, but a lot of these things are passing through what we would consider our consciousness, and we are not of anything. We're not tied to any thinking that we have or feelings that we have, but they are something, right? So it's interesting to contemplate these things, but not to get stuck by them, right? The more those things build up, the larger the kind of emotional and energetic blockages we tend to have. So I think it's important to find things to do that bring you joy, that are pleasurable, that are interesting, that make you want to learn more, that, you know, can be helpful in the future. Teaching yourself things, learning things, making things, all this kind of stuff. It is invaluable to be somebody who kind of is an ever student. And even if you're just learning little things, you know, I like to always use the example of going out and learning how to start a fire, right? It's amazing how many people don't know how to. They've never really had a reason to start a fire. But, you know, it's something to, in case you need to know, it's important. But, you know, there's something very meditative about it. I think there's also just this kind of connection to our past, that it's very activating of our instinctual kinds of knowledge. And you know, I think that we should have as many skills as we can, really, ultimately. So these things bring confidence to our being, just knowing what to do. If, like I said, if something seemed to happen for some reason, you should know how to react to it as best you can. So, you know, to combat these other feelings, and I know you're probably already busy, you have a bunch of stuff to do, especially if you're the one that's being left in charge of everything. But I think that we have to almost be kind of, in a sense, like selfish with our time and create spaces where we can, you know, seek the things that are moving to us, things that feel like they are of meaning, that bring a sense of growth, expansion, evolution of self. And I think that, you know, really, I believe it is healing. Okay. And this one when it's turned this way, looks like a person kind of flying a kite. And this one's interesting because it almost looks like it's mirrored here. A person kind of with their flying some kind of kite here. So I almost kind of wonder, yeah, like I think of the kite, you know, as being in a meditative state where you are exploring kind of your daydreams. You are in a grounded material state because your feet are on the ground, but you are attached to a string and an object that is flying around in that airy, intellectual place of conception of ideas and imagery, creativity, all of this stuff. So I also, I think that this is probably an important place for you to go as well. I think that this is maybe also part of the frustration that comes up for you, is that you want to do have time to do the things that you want to do. Not just want to do, you need to do in some way. You need to be able to think, create, go over stuff in your mind, right? Have times of silence or listening to music or whatever it is that you like to do without being continually interrupted or in a state of anxiety that you have to get to the next thing quickly. I think that this is, something that is lacking at times for you, and can be kind of like, you just feel unbalanced because you're not able to kind of, find that space. Well, I think that this, with the Ten of Wands, with this kind of oppressive energy that's lingering, I think that you have to get, into a place of being actively clearing that out. Okay, setting boundaries, communicating, not in aggressive ways, not yelling and blaming and these kinds of things, although those might feel good in the moment, but being more constructive for yourself. Deciding that you're going to set aside an hour or two, even, once or twice a week. Finding that time somewhere, even if it's late at night, early in the morning, whatever, and sticking to it. Okay. It's easy to make those plans and then you don't do it. I'm so good at that. There's so many times, and this is, I don't think Paul would mind me saying this, my husband, but like there's so many times that we both are like, oh, we need a little bit of a break, between all of the different work things that are going on and family stuff, which we're very blessed, of course. But it's hard when you have a young child, and then we say, okay, well, you can have this time off during this, this day or whatever, next week and whatever. And it comes around, and then you almost feel guilty about taking advantage to like go have a nap or, do something you want to do by yourself. Or it's just like, okay, well, we could do something as a family instead. And then, the next time we have some free time like that, it's a few more days or another week or, that's just life. We're all kind of living like that, I imagine. And, but we have to kind of really take our opportunities when we get them. If we keep letting them pass us by, it's kind of becomes our own fault, let's see. And this one, now looking at it this way, it reminds me of a llama. And I know I said it was two people holding stuff, and it does look like that too, but this, just as I turned it, I saw the little ear here. And so the llama, I think, is just really zen, just kind of hanging out, you know, happy to be wherever they are. And I think that, you know, I feel like if you can muster up in yourself a way to kind of let go of some of this, you know, stress, anxiety, hopefully not resentment, but, you know, just allow yourself to let go of some of the things. You can fold the clothes tomorrow, right? You can go, you know, go to the store tomorrow, whatever it is. Just find a little spot for yourself in the busyness of life. You know, even if you're just sitting in your car silently by yourself in the driveway, you know, that's okay. Actually sounds pretty nice sometimes. Yeah. I'm looking at this one. It looks like a person who is like in a little boat or a canoe, and then they have a big fish here. So on top of everything else, I think that when you kind of get out of this place where you're feeling like, oh, you know, it's too much. As this dissipates, kind of goes away, and you're feeling a little more clarity, everything kind of is coming into that place of order that you really, really want. I think that this is going to be the time when some kind of opportunity is going to come for you. Maybe this is like a new job position, you know, maybe like a secondary job, an opportunity to do, you know, some kind of volunteer work in something that you like to, you know, I don't know, like helping animals, or I can't, reading to children or people who are sick, something that it feels like it would be meaningful to you, right? But it'll be some kind of opportunity, whatever you consider a nice, fulfilling and exciting thing, right? And so look out for that. I feel like that is going to be something that kind of changes the whole tone. Okay, solidifies that you feel like things are getting back on course. Okay, so I have a 1 and a 5 here, if you can see that. So 15. I don't know what 15 is for you, but maybe, I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me. I'm not even gonna guess, but a 1 and a 5, those are important numbers. Maybe this is tied to that opportunity. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm. We all know the algorithm is the thing kind of deciding what happens here, what happens on all of the internet. So any kind of engagement really helps. If that is liking the video, sharing the video, watching the reading all the way through. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It will let you know when the next videos are coming out. I would love to have you as a person that is, you know, part of the community here at the channel. Between now and the next Aquarius, you can watch your other placements. Your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising. A lot of people watch their Venus or do cross-watching. If you don't know what cross-watching is, that is when you watch the readings of your loved ones, your children, spouse, significant other, somebody maybe you have a crush on, maybe your greatest enemy, I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's a nice and fun thing to do for sure. And what else? Oh, the commenting. It's always the last thing I talk about, and I'm like, wait, what's the last thing? Probably my favorite thing, though, because it gives me a chance to get to know you all, and I really appreciate the comments, the kind, supportive ones, people who are sharing about their lives, being so generous and open and vulnerable, and those of you who are supporting each other, having kind words for one another, prayers, advice, all of these wonderful things that are happening among you all in the comments. I really enjoy seeing that kind of connection. Okay, again, I'm going to say thank you, and now I am heading to bed. We'll talk again soon.